if you want access to the Discord community and our entire premium content, hit it up right now. Patreon.com/Red Pill Tamales or Rockfin.com/Red Pill Tamales. Sas. Ladies and gentlemen, last night we went to bed in the United States of America and we woke up in Venezuela.
Well, I wish you could say you're exaggerating, but that's exactly what happened.
This is Red Pill Tamales. I know y'all tuning in, but you know what, man? If you're paying attention, then you know what time it is. Like literally last night when I saw the breaking news about them doing the Alphabet Boys ran up in Trompita's crib. You know what I'm talking about? Mar-a-Lago. I literally sat there, bro, and I'm just like, okay, it's time to just like delete Twitter, like just log off. You know what I mean? It's almost like we know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like we've said enough. What is this? This is episode 207. Yeah. Season 16, episode 207. Red Pill Tamales. I'm your host, Chingo Bling. We got producer DJ Big Rod.
What to do, everybody? Got a whole new system going here.
Oh, man, it looks amazing. It's coming together. Shout out to all the agents of the TIA, the Tamale Intelligence Agency. Stand back, stand by. All the patrons. You know what I'm saying? Everybody tuning in right now on rockfin.com, ROKFIN.com/Red Pill Tamales. Shout out to all of our sponsors, magicmind.co. Use your promo code Chingo. If you want to sponsor the show, now's the time. Send us an email, redpilltamales@gmail. But, bro, I literally sat there and was like, okay, everybody got a target on their back. Like, y'all know what time it is. Yeah. Like, pay attention to what part of the movie you are in. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, did the KGB run up in the houses of their political opponents? No, but the FBI did. And I literally sat there, bro, and I'm just like,
what were you doing? What was the first time you saw it?
We were just at home. I think we were just at home. You sent it.
Okay, that's the first thing you've seen about it?
Yeah, and then I think I saw it on the Discord right after that. Then obviously I'll go look on Twitter, and now it's all over the place. But I literally sat there and I was just like, maybe we switch this to a comedy podcast. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go ahead and.
That's not what we're doing here?
I mean, yes and no.
We're not talking about my beautiful home in Mar-a-Lago was raided. No.
All they found was copies of Hunter's laptop and Epstein's client list. I left it in the safe so they can finally pay attention.
Joke was on them. There was nothing in it.
Ha. No, dog, but I seriously just sat there and was like, we've said enough. Everybody, like, either you paying attention or you not. Either you know what time it is or you don't. Like I had to unfollow Questlove, the drummer from The Roots.
Oh yeah.
I had to unfollow him because it's like, how do you still have TDS up to this point? Like maybe because you're paid and you're not like the people that people in Fort Worth that sat with one end interviews like, hey, are we in a recession? Is Biden doing a good job? I don't know if you saw that clip, but they're all like, fuck yeah, we're in a recession. They're like, fuck Biden. Like we better off with Trump with this shit. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't see the most recent one, no.
Yeah.
I saw one where she was in Oak Cliff, though.
I think it was like a compilation.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So probably the same one. Yeah. Because I could have swore one of the people said Fort Worth. I don't know. But those people are paying attention. Those people got to pump their own gas.
Yeah.
Those people got to hustle. You know what I'm saying? One source of income is too close to none. Those people are hustling, making ends meet. They know what time it is. Questlove, he works for who? Jimmy Fallon, NBC, whatever the little NBC, network, Alphabet network he's at. And he posted a meme, Questlove did, on Instagram, where it was like Hillary on the phone laughing, Obama on the phone laughing, like some other little weird socialist ass politicians, crooked, right?
Yeah.
It was like Hillary, Obama, somebody else, like just trash people that it's like, you have not realized how trash Hillary and these folks are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so you posting this meme and it's like, are you watching this, girl? And they're all like laughing, like, hold on, I got somebody else on the line. Like some other crappy ass politician. I don't know who they put on there. Chuck Schumer. I don't know who they put. And they're all sitting there giggling and they're all sitting there laughing that the Department of Justice and the feds and all that are corrupt. You know what I mean? Am I allowed to say that? Free speech? They're trying to take trompitas out. They're trying to attack the populist movement. They don't like America first. They don't like people having some say. And you know the old saying of, I don't know if Trump actually said this or it's a meme, but it's like, they're not after me. I'm just in the way.
Right.
They want you.
Yeah.
And don't think that DeSantis ain't next. All they got to do is say like, oh yeah, he got a Russian friend and we think he working with Russia. Like, right before the midterms, right before the, you know what I mean? Right before the elections, Trump hasn't officially announced he was going to run. But what him and his family are going through, just hoax after hoax, you know, and fake impeachment, sham impeachment after sham impeachment, the Ukraine call. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he's not allowed to call the president of Ukraine and say, hey, I want you to look into these Biden people and what they doing over there with Hunter and Burisma and the money and the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. All of a sudden, it's like, hey, you're not allowed to do that. That's your political opponent. And this is clearly, we got to impeach Trump.
What do you think so let's back up a little bit. When you saw that and you were like, I got to hop off Twitter, was it because you were about to go off on Twitter or because it was just too much?
I mean, hop off, period. Like, okay. Yeah, I don't mean like, oh, hop off Twitter. Like,
for the day, yeah.
Like, no. I mean, period.
Yeah,
man. What am I doing to this mic? Did you hear that?
You just roll enthusiastic.
I'm just too loud.
You're passionate. You're passionate.
I mean, period. Like, y'all know where I stand. We've said enough.
Yeah.
Y'all can go back, listen to the catalog. You know what I'm saying? Let your ear hole get the compilations. I mean, I'm waiting on the feds to put together a compilation of us in here talking. You know what I'm saying? From now on, I'm taking all my pictures like Jay Prince. I'm pointing at the camera. All my photos from now on, I'm pointing at the camera because I see you looking at me. I see y'all watching me. And but just to clarify about the whole, like, just log off. Just, for example, from today to tomorrow, you might just start seeing, oh, Chingo tweeted a link to his Instagram to a sketch. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Oh, where's Chingo? I miss you, boo. Oh, you're funny, dude. Hey, where you been? Bitch, I ain't went nowhere. It's just we trying to juggle and give y'all all the flavors, all the stuff that y'all need. But basically, I was just like, I'm over it. Like, I'm done. Y'all still got TDS. Y'all still worried about Tiger. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people, I saw this picture of a stadium, a packed stadium, like 87,000 people. And the meme basically said, this is the amount of armed IRS agents the government forced you to hire. So they're hiring a stadium full of armed IRS agents to dig in the nooks and crannies of the middle class. Poor folk, they get a tax return. They don't even, you know what I'm saying? It's all write off. So it's the middle class. Obviously, the rich, they got their loopholes. They got the trust fund. They got the shell corporation. You know, they figuring out ways not to pay taxes. The middle class, the people we were trying, you know what I'm saying? We were trying to warn everybody for 207 episodes. It is 10 August. It is Wednesday, 10 August, year of our Lord, 2022. Legalized Freedom Tour coming in hot. Next stop, Phoenix, Arizona, August 17th. I believe we have Chicago after that, August 31st. I just want to ride off into the sunset. You know, we literally woke up in Venezuela, and I just can't wait to talk to my dad and be like, hey, you ever wanted to know what it was like to live in Venezuela when shit was hitting the fan and you couldn't trust the elections and inflation was going up? And they were going into hyperinflation and so on and so forth. Congratulations. Like, you now are about to experience it. Legalized Freedom Tour, no apologies. Please be offended. We have San Jose, California, August 24th. Of course, Chicago, August 31st. Brea, September 14th. Oxnard, September 15th. Austin, Texas, September 28th. San Antonio, a whole weekend. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. A whole fucking weekend. September 29th through October 2nd. Salt Lake City, Utah, October 7th. And then we catch a little plane ride on over to Las Vegas, Nevada, October 8th through the 9th for the official THEA gathering, the Tamales Intelligence Agency weekend. I know it's going to be some informants mixed in. I know it's going to be some feds just trying to see what they talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, hey, feds, y'all welcome to. After that, we end the tour in Addison, Texas in the DF Dub, a whole weekend, November 4th through the 6th. Live Nation, holla at me. I am a free agent in my city, Houston, Texas. Sas. But yeah, bro, I was just like,
let's take a breather. Yeah, let's take a deep breath. Yeah. So when I sent it to you, it was probably late in the evening yesterday. I think it happened yesterday morning or Monday. At this point, when you're listening to this, it happened on a Monday morning. Reports started going out later that day. Like it seemed like it was pretty late into the day when the reports started going out. Like breaking, Trump's home, right, or whatever the hell. And so what do you know from it so far? Like why they did it?
They said, this is from what I gather, right? there were some classified documents. And we're not talking about Hillary's emails and the server.
Oh, the 30,000 plus emails?
And the phones she destroyed with a hammer. Not
all
those.
The acid wash documents?
Not that. No, we're not talking about that right now.
Okay.
Some classified documents that the commander-in-chief, you know what I'm saying? The ex-president.
Fifth?
Yeah, 4/5. Know what I'm talking about? Apparently, he had them and they were now declassified or something. His handling of classified documents. Mind you, ex-presidents have access to classified documents. But go on.
Well, I think they were requesting them back, right? And he wasn't returning them in a timely manner. And then, they had, I guess they had said that action would be taken. And then when he was in Wisconsin, and then he was doing his rallies, right? And then at the time he was in New York in Trump Towers. And then when he finds out, and he's like, my beautiful home has been raided by the FBI. They even broke into my safe. There was nothing in there. And the whole time I'm reading this, because I read the CNN perspective, and then I read like the post-millennial perspective. The CNN one hit you with all of the, like in the first paragraph, it hit you with was raided, having confidential documents, they broke into a safe, all the bad things that would make you like, oh my God, and then just share it because no one's going to read the rest of it. And the rest of it was kind of like, it wasn't all related to January 6th because people were like, they're after the January 6th thing.
That was my guess at first.
Right. They're
trying to find dirt, like a text message or something, Secret Service.
Yeah, and it was like, it wasn't all that, but it was just like other confidential or classified documents that they wanted from him. So they made it sound like he did some criminal activity and they're after him, when really they just wanted a couple of or they took like,
I heard 15
30?
boxes.
Or 13. Like I was gonna say 13, but it's 15. Yeah, boxes of confidential archival documents or whatever. I don't know. Still, there's still not a lot of information about it. But just to have that had happen, like, bro, they're pulling out every stop.
Yeah, let's not forget Peter Navarro. They hit him with like a misdemeanor or two. Steve Bannon is charged and guilty of a misdemeanor or two. I mean, on down the line, it's like, bro, they coming for everybody. So DeSantis, everybody. So it's like that old saying of, they laugh when they went for trompitas, and then you didn't say nothing when they went after these people. You didn't say nothing when they went after Republicans. You weren't saying nothing when they went after libertarians. You didn't say nothing, and it's going to come for everybody. Mind you, I've been reading these books, the Gulag Archipelago, you know what I'm saying? I learned how to say it.
Yeah.
At least I say it the way Giovanni and Juan, Big Stoner, want me to say it. So I've been reading them kind of books, you know what I'm saying? You start to see how the Stasi works, you see how Stalin works, you see how fascism works, and they're it's all these little political games, and we sit up here and we try to, make light of it and make it interesting and entertaining, but it's like, bro, I mean, let me just stay up out the way and ride off into the sunset. Let me just go to the land. You know what I mean? Let's just stock up on all these weapons they trying to ban. Which ones y'all trying to ban so I can stock up on them?
What do you see your role being? So let's rewind again a little bit. When the show was first started, this was like an outlet for you to get all of your points and perspective out for the people that were tripping and taking things out of context.
Yes.
A year and a half or so later, so much has unfolded that now let me ask again, what do you think the role of you as a figure in the entertainment / now like political commentary, cultural commentary space is?
I have no idea. I don't know because
can you let it go unaddressed?
Let what go unaddressed?
What's happening? Can you really
like the Trump thing? Like just like say pretend this was our last episode.
Yeah.
And then Rob and I, next time you see Rob and I, it's like it's the blah 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 podcast. And no. Hey, we're not talking about, like, I know there was some breaking news. They raided DeSantis' home or they went after Marjorie Taylor Greene. They ran up on Matt Gaetz. They arrested Jack Posobiec.
They kicked the door down.
Yeah, whatever. We not talking about that right now. We talking about Tiger. And we talking about some funny shit like Kanye.
Beyonce's new album.
Yeah, Kanye versus Pete Davidson. And, you know, Khloe Kardashian got a kid on the way, or just had a son with Tristan with a surrogate in somebody else's womb.
Yeah.
That's what we'd be talking about.
Is that what we want to do next?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's just getting so ridiculous that it's like, I mean, we already in the line of fire. And people still got TDS. People are cheering. They're cheering that you know, the feds, Questlove, you're on the side of the alphabet boys, bro. Like,
do you think he knows that though? Do you really think he understands the perspective of the other side, or what he's...
I had to unfollow him. I was like, I can't take this goofy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree with you.
And then Charlemagne, one day I'll be wanting to unfollow him, and then he'll post something that's like, Biden don't know what he's doing. It's like, okay, I'm gonna not hit the unfollow button
Yet.
And I was gonna leave a comment on Questlove shit, like, okay, y'all sitting up here joking around, laughing, posting these trash ass politicians, like they're trash, Hillary and them, and basically making light of they're weaponizing their whole this Department of Justice and all this to go after political opponents, and this is some fucking banana republic, third world country ass shit.
And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's basically a dependent country, especially for like I think importing of like crops and goods. They're basically dependent on someone else in the tropical islands, from what I understand. That's what America's kind of like right now. We're just dependent on China. We're depending on importing things from all over the world. But let me ask you this.
And then really, anytime I've heard that reference, the Banana Republic, it has to do with like show trials and just like your two-tiered judicial system where they can just like go after you. But anyway,
that too as well, and just make shit up, witch hunts left and right, which we're familiar with here. But are you more of a, and I can answer this, but I'd rather you say it to the audience, are you more of a pessimist these days or more an optimist for the future?
Like, are we approaching a golden era of some sort? Like, oh, we're gonna, you know, it's red wave, red tsunami.
Let's pretend that somebody just gave you the right track, wrong track poll, and you're the only one on the poll, but you have to answer for like a large portion of the people, like to make them feel a certain way. Are you going to tell them I'm optimistic so that they feel a certain way, or are you going to be like I'm kind of pessimistic so they feel another kind of way?
It's really hard for me to answer it that way in a binary of optimistic or pessimistic. I'll paint a picture. I have 3 daughters. I got to make sure, like my 14-year-old is like, hey dad, when can I learn how to shoot? And I'm
great.
like, yeah. And I'm like, hold on now. Let me go test out this instructor and let me see what classes. And then pretty soon we'll make time and figure out, let me do a little bit of research, see what you're going to be shooting with. Right. Mm-hmm. The 4-year-old's in jiu-jitsu. And then the 1-year-old, she's watching, and like it's play for her. Like she'll see Penny rolling around with a stuffed animal. Like we put out some little mats, and they have like this stuffed lion that we use for the photo shoot, and it's just cute, right? Because they had the circus theme for Jimena's birthday. But anyway, she's like, you know, we're like, hey, you got a little tournament coming up. We're like side control, you know, full mount, nice. Neon belly. We're running them little drills. Like, no, that's not neon belly. What are you doing? You're playing around. You're going to lose. Yeah, you're going to lose. You keep that up. And meanwhile, the 1-year-old, she's like mimicking, and she's like, oh, we're playing. So she's jumping on a stuffed animal, and she's putting her knee on the belly of the pillow and things like that. So I'm painting the picture of the atmosphere and the talks and for example, we did Cafecito Time where we go live on Facebook and YouTube, trying to do daily, right? We try to squeeze in 30 minutes and schedule it. But
for Chingo Bling at Real Chingo Bling or Facebook/Real Chingo Bling. Official Chingo Bling.
Yeah, official Chingo Bling. It's not monetized. Mark Zuckerberg don't want me to make money on there, but I got over 1 million subscribers on there. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's hard out here for a pimp. They don't want to monetize for shit. So we were on Cafecito Time, and one of the parenting questions was, like, what are some things that you're doing in your household that maybe your parents didn't do? Mm-hmm. You know, and you got to be careful not to overcompensate and overdo it to where you're trying to do things differently than your parents, and you end up ruining your kids, right?
Oh, how did that come up?
I don't know if somebody asked, Marisol asked, but
okay, because she asked that at the end of her lounge, and I asked it in the her lounge Discord, and I mean it's a new channel. It's got so many responses, so I can't wait to read that next week with her. But go on.
Yeah. So obviously people chiming in.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody leaving comments. So they're on there saying like, man, I tell my boys, I tell my sons, I love them. You know, they're 17. Harold said that 17, 18. I still kiss them on the cheek. You know what I mean? Or people saying like, I actually tell them I love you. And I'm like, damn, your parents never told you they loved you. You know what I mean?
Damn.
And you're just seeing the differences of what people are trying to do. Like some people are like, I take my kids to church. You know what I mean? That wasn't part of our thing or whatever. And, you know, you got to be careful not to overdo it because you fuck around and now you a helicopter parent or you a bulldozer parent where you trying to all, what's the word I'm looking for? All opposition, like all hurdles, all difficulty. You're trying to move it out the way.
Yeah, you're trying to nerf the world for them.
Yeah, nerf, you know, all soft corner, everything padded. So I make sure that we go to church. You know what I'm saying? We go to Second Baptist, and there's members of the Thea.
Oh, word.
They mix in the crowd. They standing back and they standing by. Like you sitting there watching the sermon.
By all the exits.
I swear to God. You sitting there watching the sermon. You know, you on one side, your wife's on the other side, kids in the middle.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody finna act a fool. You get a tap on the left shoulder. Oh, what's up? Oh, shit, agent. What's up, home? We standing back. We standing by. Boom. Service is over. You walking out to the lobby. You getting a salute. Hey, we standing back. We standing by. And there's actually a couple that attends, and they go there because I think the wife had asked Mighty Soul, like, hey, we trying to find, you know, we trying to do this where we go to that. And Mighty Soul's like, well, this is where we go.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. But I'm painting the picture of, the question is, are you pessimistic or are you optimistic? So I'm optimistic that, you know, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. You know what I mean? God is in control. Like God allowed Brandon to hire 87,000 armed IRS agents. Like we need to reveal, like I was blind. Maybe it wasn't so in your face. You know, it wasn't so in your face. Like in terms of like, I wasn't bumping Alex Jones 15 years ago. You know what I mean? I didn't know about Bohemian Grove 15 years ago. I wasn't paying attention to Bohemian Grove 15 years ago. Whatever, the Bilderberg. I heard a little bit. You'd hear about like Illuminati and Bilderberg.
I'm sure Lucky brought it up in the past.
Yeah. I think he might have used to listen to Alex Jones, or he'd go down the YouTube rabbit holes. But the point I'm trying to make is like we're confident that it's all for the better. You know what I mean? Like in other words, when the ATF surrounded Waco and burned a bunch of kids alive, you know what I'm saying? The media was telling us, oh, these are bad people. This David Koresh guy's crazy. They got a cult. They were doing bad stuff. We had to do what we had to do. Meanwhile, Alex Jones was like, bro, these people were minding their business. They just had some weapons and shit, which you were allowed to have. ATF didn't like that shit. They were trying to pin something on them. Like, hey, what's the measurement of that shotgun? What's that attachment you got on there? Is that band? What kind of trigger is that? Whatever. How many of them y'all got? And they were harassing the shit out of them. Long story short, they had tanks and helicopters and people fucking flying in through windows and shit caught ablaze, right? And you had a bunch of children in there. And if we had a more honest press and a more legitimate alphabet agencies, it probably would have been like, the truth is we were harassing shit out these people. They had some guns we ain't like. We lit it on fire. So
and take your time. Paint the picture.
Yeah,
paint the picture.
So I turned 43 in August. You know, I got 3 daughters. We're trying to arm them with the tools of like the Bible. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some foundation. Like this country you're growing up in, I brought you into this world, and this country you're growing up in, it's nothing like what I grew up in.
Yeah. In
the 80s and the 90s, and it was, you know, the Cold War, and we win, they lose. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there was a lot of fuck shit going on behind the scenes. You know, Iran Contra, and the CIA is moving dope, and all, you know, all
kinds of stuff.
Government gonna do what government do. But it's like now it feels like we're under the fucking target. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you believe in Christ? You believe in the Constitution and the First Amendment and the Second Amendment, and you want to have a little flag on your house and on your car, and you want to have a Punisher sticker, and you want to have a Come and Take It t-shirt, and you know what I'm saying? So pay attention to what part of the movie you in. Like, I know what time it is. And it's one of those where it's like, I've said enough. Let me just go on about, you know what I'm saying? It's like, how does this show evolve? Because we want to talk about survival and prepping and finance and, you know, obviously we do cover a lot of economics on here, but like, I want to have a comedian podcast or a more general podcast where I might sit down with a rapper or a music producer or a comedian, and it's not always this like my hair's on fire and I'm over here trying to warn you and inform you and wake you up. Have you seen the Alex Jones thing?
Oh yeah.
You saw it?
His response to everything?
No, the movie.
Oh no.
Alex's War. We rented it on Apple TV.
Which, by the way, he had nothing to do. Everybody thinks that he made this about himself. No.
And what happened? He didn't like some of it?
No. I heard it was great, but he just didn't. He was someone else produced it, someone else directed it. It was someone else's.
He was just the subject of the documentary. But when you watch it, you get a feel of like the stress. You know what I'm saying? You get a feel of Alex's War.
Yeah.
How obligated he felt. Because look, I got this sign right here. Laugh. We got to clown this goofy ass shit.
For sure.
We got to fucking make fun of this shit. We want to make it lighthearted and entertaining. But it's like, bro, did you listen to Tim Pool last night?
I know. I wanted to, but I haven't.
Okay, well, he did. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I just tuned in.
Wasn't Larry Elder on last night?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't really tune into him all the time at all, really. There's just too many things, so much going on. You got audiobooks you ain't even caught up on, your actual books we ain't caught up on, and scheduling, and you trying to go live for Cafecito time, and you got to let people know, hey, I'm coming to Phoenix, because when I first went to Phoenix, I had a weekend. Now I'm demoted to Thursday, whatever that is. I'm going Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. I don't know what that is. I think it's a Wednesday. But I got to spam y'all. I got to fucking promote. And I also got to make time for this podcast, which a lot of raza, this shit goes over their head, or they're just like, hey, ¿sabes qué, homie? Hey, that shit don't apply to me, homie. I'm more worried about Tiger right now, fool. You know what I mean? Y'all worried about Tiger.
Yeah.
Right now, the government getting more and more power. Oh, so this is what Tim Pool said. And I don't even want to say this shit, right? But he was like, he's like, I've mentioned before. This sound like Ben Shapiro.
It's Ben Shapiro's son.
It's Ben Shapiro as Tim Pool.
Okay, good.
He's like, you know, and I've mentioned, you know, we're headed down the road of civil war. And he's like, and people laughed at me. And he's like, if they keep up, you know what I mean? That sound like Ben Shapiro again. And it's like, everybody's on the list. You got 87,000 IRS agents. I already know what Uncle Sam waiting on me to cough up. You know what I'm saying? So how do we make it funny? How do we laugh? How do we clown this shit? And at the same time, not turn into Alex Jones where your hair's on fire and your blood pressure's going up and you're on a list and you're afraid to tweet things and people think you're a fucking sellout. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I almost feel like, you know, there's times where I'm like, I just need a break. We just got to take a week off. And then the feds raid Trump.
Yeah.
And it's like, how you going to take a break when you got to do an emergency broadcast?
You know, so you were painting the picture. The camera turned back on. Good. All right. But I don't know if we got to a solid conclusion of your outlook of
It's
everything.
just a mix. It's like optimistic because I believe in God, and optimistic because I have faith that you know, America is gonna stay America, and we're not gonna let the globalists take over. So that's where the optimism comes in. But the pessimism is like, it's gonna be a rough road, and it's gonna get a lot worse. That's where the pessimism. Where the camera? You're looking right at it, Chingo. It's gonna get a lot worse. It's time to. Here's the word that popped in my head when I looked in the mirror last night. It's like, I don't know how many edibles I had in me, but I was like, this is the word. Ready? And it's gonna be like, bro, come on, dog. You ain't what you finna do? Sign up for the military? You know what I mean? It's like warrior. And whether that's spiritual warrior, whether that's meditate warrior, whether that's just focus on your family warrior, whether that's go on the land, go to the property, you know what I mean, stock up, stay out the way, live the simple country life, and y'all might see me 10 years later with a long ass gray beard and be like, where the hell you been, Chingo? Where you been? Where you been at? What happened? You just fucking went off the grid. And it's like, I don't know, warrior. I don't know what warrior means, but maybe that just means like everybody, all the men and the women too. Women, y'all got to be pioneer women. Everybody got to play their role. But it's going to get a lot worse. You might have to bite your tongue. You might have to just keep your mouth shut. You might have to like bro, I mean, these red flag laws, come on now. Did y'all see the flag in front of my house?
Somebody please animate Chingo in front of a mirror, way too high on edibles. Thinking warrior, like I can see the animation of warrior, and then as it's like a time lapse, his beard's getting longer and gray. He's looking like Gandalf the Grey.
And I'm off the grid. And
he's out the grid.
And it was like, damn, bro, after episode 207, we ain't seen you for about 10 years. You came back looking like Rick Rubin. You a black belt now? Where you been at, dog? You ain't post nothing that you was a black belt?
So this morning I recommended the Chingo and Mighty Soul, a podcast, a JRE. It's 1848 with Francis Foster and Constantine Kissin. They're UK comics that were basically, they've become enemies of the state for going against the woke. And I didn't know just how bad the UK was.
Enemies of the state, meaning the government?
The
government's in their grill. Who's in their grill?
The industry for sure. All of which isn't a big industry apparently, like comedy, entertainment, education. So once you start getting into the schools and teachers and stuff, I would say that's the state. They have to be funded by somebody. The BBC, all that stuff.
So
right?
who's harassing them?
Everybody.
Okay.
Literally everybody.
The culture.
The culture for the culture.
Are there any citizens, like regular British people that are like, I like that comedy and it's just a joke and you should let off?
By what they've said, not a lot.
I like to watch comedy in the garage.
Not a lot.
Not a lot? It's just everyone's woke?
Everyone is... What, you think America's bad? Bro, listen, I'm not even exaggerating. This podcast is 4.5 hours long. I'm an hour and a half in, and I am simultaneously enraged and so inspired because the way they're telling people how much they love America is what every American who right now... Like, man, I posted up a video in the Discord yesterday of these fucking kids, they're playing their mid-early 20s, and I think it was Klug, I forgot his first name. But James Klug. Uh-huh. And the disrespect from these people, man, were just like, one of them was just like, what do you think? Oh, what do you think of people that wear the American flag on their shirt? Just use your imagination at the shit that was coming out of their mouth.
Nazis, fascists, Trumpanzees.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb, it's mind-numbing, but they're a part of that small 20%, I think, that are like the loud, squeaky wheel. I don't think there's a consensus across the country that it's as bad as Twitter makes it seem, Mark Zuckerberg's platform makes it seem. It's not the case. Nonetheless, that's where we are. It does seem like that when you're trying to make sure that like your kids aren't being indoctrinated and you're trying to live a life that's affordable, all this kind of stuff. But one of them was just like fuck America, duh, like gross, that kind of thing. And I'm just like,
colonizers.
And it was just, and she's like, I'm from Kansas. Like we saw a lot of that growing up. Like it's so like fuck all that. Like what? What?
Yeah, man. They've been persuaded.
I didn't brainwash.
Yeah, same thing. Hypnotized. We're gonna keep the show going at least until Vegas, at least until October 8th and 9th, just so that members of the theater don't feel like, I don't feel like I'm a quitter in front of the agents, people that enjoy the show and they tune in. But it's just I just, and some of y'all are listening like, Chingo, you're just making this shit too grandiose, bro. Like you're a narcissist, Chingo. Like it's not all about you, right? But I feel that like we like Rob the Warrior, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Myself, people on the front lines, people like nowadays, if you're a stand-up comedian and you're a podcaster and you believe in free speech and you still love America, like you're on the front lines. Like you're standing on stage telling jokes, but at the same time trying to make people think or make people realize something subconsciously, subtly, and you're like front lines of the culture war. We're having to defend the fact that anybody could get it. Like these are jokes. We're trying to see how free we really are. First Amendment. And they coming after the comedians. They coming after your free speech. And they coming after your you know what I'm talking about? Your 2A.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that warrior mindset is like, if you've been wanting to attack your body fat percentage, like myself, it's time to step it up. If you know your cardio ain't all the way up, like you couldn't probably carry your kid over your shoulder and run to the abandoned building, whatever in your head is fucking gonna happen. Now's the time to step up your cardio. If you don't know any martial arts, now's the time to pick up a little bit of boxing or wrestling or Muay Thai. Pick your poison, right? If you don't own a firearm, just because it's your right, like just the fact that it's an interesting rabbit hole. And we could probably, if not at this episode, but the next one, we could probably pull up some clips on YouTube There are videos where people have their Ring camera or their security camera. There's one particularly. I want to find it, and I tried to show my 14-year-old, and because we're having that discussion about guns, right? And basically, so it was like two white boys, right? Don't get triggered. It was these two white men have a channel, and they're obviously like Concealed Carry Association representative. That might have been the channel. And they were like, let's break down this home invasion. Let's see how the gentleman acted. This is, you have seconds. So basically, bro, they show the Ring camera footage, right? It looked like they went grocery shopping. So you see the mom walking to the door. You see the little girl. She might have been 8 years old, 9 tops. She's walking. And then you see dad, right? Dad, Papa Bear. He's coming. He has a plastic bag with some groceries in his right hand. He has his left hand in his pocket. You see him kind of like glance over his left shoulder. This is all on the Ring camera. I'm getting chills thinking about this shit. He looked over his left shoulder, and then you see him start to pull out his gun. Now you see the assailant like charging towards them with his gun out, arm fully extended. So as Papa Bear pulls his shit out his pocket, he already got one in the chamber up top. It's already cocked. He ain't having to drop the bag, load, get the magazine out of the other pocket. Ain't none of that. It's not in the glove compartment. Don't let me go pop the trunk. Let me run in the house. He already had his hand on it, right? Because when we go for walks, they be laughing like, oh, daddy got his hand on the baby Glock. Daddy got the baby Glock in his pocket. And I know some people are like, you shouldn't carry it like that. But listen, Papa Bear in the video pulls his left hand out. Boom. Already got his hand on it. Bow. It's either you or me. Don't make it a me or you situation. Boss. Assailant. Wrong house, my G.
Yeah.
He must have saw them pulling up. He thought it was sweet. I'm about to hit this lick. I'm about to run up in this house. I'm going to duct tape the wife and God knows what else. He was already coming towards them with his gun. Papa Bear, ta-ta-tas. I'm on those motherfucker assailant. Oh, I'm bleeding. I'm dead. Like the guy that got stabbed.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
And I don't know how I went on that tangent, but my rant is, if you've been wanting to work on your body fat percentage, if you've been wanting to work on your cardio, if you've been wanting to work on your self-defense, if you want to work on your what's the word, man? Like your ability, your skill with firearms, right? Like you're well versed, you're trained, you're skilled. Like the lady that was on The View that they chastised her and castigated her. Now's the time, just to have the warrior mindset. I'm not saying statistically somebody's gonna run up in your house. I'm not saying that you're ever gonna have to use fucking jujitsu in the streets and the parking lot somewhere. But just to keep you sane, just to know that you're doing the best you can to uphold masculinity and uphold family, uphold fatherhood, uphold like basic tenets, nothing related, government aside. This is you as a fucking Homo sapien, as somebody made by God, created by God, to be a fucking man. And I know a lot of people listen like, motherfucker, I am a man. Like, you must be talking to yourself, Chingo.
Yeah, you say that.
Warrior mindset, bro. Warrior mindset.
No, I love that. There's so much to unpack there. And I mean, we'll get to the stories in the next couple of episodes, but it doesn't really matter. I think a lot of people... So this is the Wednesday's episode. Most people listen to this
emergency
episode.
broadcast, brother.
Yeah, this is the State of the Union, right?
Emergency broadcast.
So the Wednesday episodes are the free public episodes. Most people listen to this. A lot of people listen to the teasers on Thursdays and Fridays. And we have our agents, our valuable agents. But on Wednesdays, you get tens of thousands of people, which, why haven't you signed up for the Patreon yet? You know, why haven't you supported directly? If you would like the show to continue past the TIA Vegas trip, support directly.
October 8th and October 9th.
So,
because after that, I'm done promoting my tour. After that, I'm just catching arrows for nothing. Go on.
Until you all jump on board and we get to create more content. Because I also feel like this is the flagship show at this point because it's been going on for so long. The way like Tim Cast is the flagship show for all the other stuff he started. He says the same thing. Like, we got Pop Culture Crisis and we have the blog they do. It's all like around cultural things. And then you have Tim Cast, like the flagship show, right? But so what made you started the story with saying about what's a good rabbit hole? Was that the message behind the rabbit hole videos, that you saw the Ring videos and then you were saying get on top of whatever you want to do now, right?
Uh-huh.
Like,
so what's your question?
No, that was my question, was to go back to that, was that the message you wanted to get across? Is like, don't wait, do it now, whatever it is. Like, get your gun training, get your...
The writings are on the wall.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm not saying we all gonna have to pick up arms and, but, when you watch an old Colion Noir clip from, let's just say 3 years ago, he might have been on Bill Maher, one of these shows, and they're just like, so you're telling me that a civilian needs over 10 rounds? You're telling me a civilian needs a weapon of war? And he's basically saying, our forefathers, because of tyranny and everything else, 3-4 years ago, I'd have been like, bro, come on now, tyranny. That's what you think our government is up to? You're telling me that we got to worry about tyranny? But then you go through the lockdowns and the scandemic and the this and the forced inoculation and the that and the whoop-de-woo and the agents and the election and the whoop-de and they got the J6 people up under the jail and breaking news, Hunter Biden is sleeping peacefully in his bed. Now you watch the clip and it's like, oh yeah, the T word. Yeah, well, I see a little bit of medical tyranny. Medical apartheid, you know what I'm saying?
Isn't it crazy that this is the most peaceful time ever in the United States? Meanwhile, it seems like the most chaotic.
Most peaceful time?
Most peaceful time. I mean, there's no World War right now. There's no...
There isn't?
I mean, there's no World War I, World War II. There's no Spanish flu, like that was really killing that many people, they were literally dropping dead.
There's regular flu.
There's just regular flu. There's a flu. There's a couple of flus, a couple of variant of flus.
Yeah. Well, the flu numbers dropped 1 year.
Yeah, there's no,
They just...
there's no, well, I guess you could kind of argue for a Cold War coming, but there's just that, like the way, what our grandparents and their parents, kind of went through, it's nothing like that. Meanwhile, it still seems like the most chaotic time because we're at each other's throats. It's like there's no real danger at our shores, and we don't have a lot of people fighting a world war yet, but it still seems like, why is this? Because it's within, right? It's falling from within.
Yeah.
So I think like this show and the messages from the show, we're trying to reach the people in the middle, right? We're trying to reach, like earlier I said, there's a 20% people that are complete crazy people you'll never get to. The Quest loves.
The food's gone wild.
The food's gone wild. The Quest loves with the TDS. It's just you're never getting through them. But then you have a lot of people, like the ones that the comedians from the UK were talking about, that don't like what's going on, but they can't speak out about it because they'll lose their job, they'll get canceled. It's all about political correctness. But that's like, we're seeing this red wave of like Trump endorsed, people winning their primaries and such.
Which they're probably going to start getting raided next.
I'm sure. But that's what happens when, in my opinion, when something like when the jig is up, like they're either going to try to pull off as much as they can before November and beyond, or it's over. It's game over.
And they pissing off a lot of people in the process.
Of course they are. And then who's coming into power? And that's the dangerous thing, right? When you have somebody like that who goes all out, then, okay, well, the pendulum's now going the other way. Are they going to go all out? They have to do something. You can't have every Republican that wins go in and not do a fucking thing for 2 or 4 years. That's what we've seen for decades, right?
Yeah, those are the ones. Well, yeah, that's the old school GOP swamp.
Yeah, and the point of that is just that everyone is kind of coming to their senses. Netflix is putting out those memos like, if you don't like this, go find another job somewhere else. Some corporations are finally coming with it. It's working in that direction of like, okay, let's come up for air. We've been down here drowning in wokeness for too fucking long.
But you still got the ESG score.
Definitely.
You still got like, BP putting out commercials, BP oil talking about, we believe in net zero, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, like we about to be green in the motherfucker. They just passed that big bullshit ass, what was that, the Green New Deal Junior?
Yeah, what do they call it? Well, it's called the Inflation Reduction Act. Everything that sounds good is never really that good.
Nah, bro, they finna make inflation worse. So you just finished saying, this is the most peaceful ass shit. And I agree, because it's like how they're drowning, how they're boiling the frog.
Right.
They turning y'all, everybody listening, they want to turn you into serfs, right? We headed to serfdom. Like you will own nothing and you're going to be happy. But you can't tell because you can still get Uber Eats.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Still comfortable.
Somebody can still drop off groceries or whatever. But they taxing you in every angle. And I want to say this for people who misinterpret my, I guess my anger, right? Because, it may kind of make your blood boil a little bit. This ain't got nothing to do with Trump. All this shit is bigger than Trump. All right? This shit has got Trump. He's the spearhead of the movement, America First, MAGA. He's the one that first stepped on the scene. He is the product of like the political system created this guy, meaning he had to step in. He could have been right now. He could have been living lavish, left alone, ain't nobody raiding shit. He could have been just at the golf course, opening up more hotels and more golf courses, more TV shows, just more investments worldwide. You know, Trump Tower, Dubai, whatever you name it. They could have rode off into the sunset, him and his family. But right now they catching all the arrows, the shit that they're going through, just on behalf of, you know, this populist movement. So my point is, this ain't got nothing to do with Trump. This is just like they don't want people rising up. Like they don't want people, power to the people, we the people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want we the people saying, hey, bro, these rights come from God. We don't need bigger government. Right? We giving you permission to work for us to protect the borders and have, you know, we need this federal system for a variety of reasons, but don't think that y'all are in charge. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of how the left and the globalists and the sellouts work, right? They just want to like print more of your money. They send, every time you look up, they sending more money to Ukraine. And then Biden will tweet, we're investing in America. We're investing in America. We're going to be at the forefront of this economic transition. And whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Meanwhile, you got Klaus Schwab laughing, Bill Gates laughing, Epstein laughing, Ghislaine Maxwell laughing, the Clintons laughing. The Clintons, what they did to Haiti, Lord have mercy.
If y'all have never looked into that, guys, read some of those stories.
How they came up. But anyway, my point is, Some people might watch this and misinterpret like, oh, Chingo's butthurt because trompitas, they raided your boy. Oh, that's your savior. Y'all are in a cult. Que la chingada. Hey, wey. Chingas a tu pinche madre.
And that's how you make it a comedy podcast.
Just by throwing in one chinga tu madre.
That's it. So this is unprompted, but you brought up parenting, or that whole conversation was so funny because Sol and I did talk about that yesterday. And this is what I said to her, and tell me what you think about this. I feel like her people in, I guess are considered elder millennials and some millennial group that's not.
I'm a boomer, big time.
Yeah, you might as well be, right?
Might as well.
I think we have the potential to be the best parents in the last 100 years.
Oh, shit. Last 100 years?
And
you saying we're going to be better than our grandparents, bro?
We have the potential to.
Okay.
But we have to learn from what was before us.
Warrior mindset.
Right. We stand on the shoulders of men that came before us, kind of thing.
Like, what your garden look like?
All those things, right? And the reason I said that is because my grandparents were such hard asses that they made a hard ass son who then became my dad. My grandpa, obviously his dad was a hard ass man.
It was a different time.
Different time, right. We're so spoiled by the luxuries of the West and America in the time that we're living in now. In 2022, like I said, you have every luxury. Hey, you want lunch at noon? Let's go ahead and just order whatever we want. It'll come to our door. They'll knock on it. They won't even talk to us. They'll just leave it at the doorstep, walk away.
This shit done made us soft.
100%. So, but we also, through what we went through, understood maybe our parents should have been a little kinder, talked to us a little more, showed a little bit more love and encouragement from time to time. So we want to do both of those things for our kids. We want to be hard asses when necessary, but show them that communication is very important, right? I don't see that happening a whole lot, but I see the potentials there. Like, we're doing that with our kids. You guys do that with y'all's kids. But then we have other friends and acquaintances who are they're following the exact footsteps of their parents. Not a good thing. And then the other ones are going extreme far left, we'll say, and they're telling them, change your sex, cut your dick off, do whatever you want. You know what I mean? So there is
Who's doing that? You know people that are doing that?
I personally no. I'm just saying there are examples of that.
Okay.
But so if you took both of those extremes and you know what like us as parents had for parents, you could use that to make some really, really powerful kids for the future.
And you know what's crazy? All of that is in the Bible. Like spare the rod, right? Like if you, I'm not an expert on the Bible. I can't even quote a whole bunch
Pretend to be one.
Chapters and Luke chapter 12 verse 5 through 6.
Where's your Theo Hoover wig? You can be Jesus for a day.
Dang, boy, hold on now. But like all that is in the Bible, like, how to raise your kids, just these old 2,000-year-old basic golden rule type of stuff, right? In terms of like, what is it? Like love thy neighbor, whoop-de-woo.
Yeah.
And there's different ways to interpret it.
Of
like,
course. Like,
well, what did turn the other cheek mean? Did that mean, let them beat you down? Or does that mean turn your cheek right before you hit them back? But yeah, I agree on what you're saying because those soft times that made weak men and women made it to where the left's propaganda and the fake media, it made you, like, for example, if you've never had to like kill your own dinner, like wring the neck of the chicken, like I ain't never had to do that. I didn't grow up in Mexico on the ranch. Like I'd see it done when we'd go visit. Well, you got to get the water out of the well, and it's like, oh, there's ants floating in the garrafon. It's like, boil it, motherfucker. Shut up. It's protein. You know, you're gonna eat your crickets, and you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. So for example, if you have like a woke yoga mom pushing the Bob stroller in the burbs or wherever in the trendy area, and she believes that George Floyd was a saint, and she believes that, you know, racism and systemic this, and they're guilty because they're white.
And Rittenhouse was a criminal.
Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse had no business being there, and he should have let the guy hit him with the skateboard, and so on.
Sure.
Those people are like prime candidates to have that NPC download put into their brain, because they don't want to see the chicken's neck get wrung. Like, they're just like, ew. They want to see the nugget already in the bag from HEB in the frozen section, and you just pop it in the air fryer. Like, we're used to having the processed chicken already in nugget form. It's already in the tender form. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You didn't even have to cut the potato to make it a French fry. That shit came processed too. Everything's processed. You got refrigeration. You used to the grid. You're comfortable in your AC. Like, nobody ever had to rough it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what it's like to have an outhouse, or like when the freeze happened in Houston. That was a wake up call. It's like, holy shit, fuck. When is the city gonna come turn this heat back on?
Sun, please come out and melt all this ice.
Yeah, what's going on with the windmills and the solar panels? But it's like society with all the modern comforts of, we're not having to live how our grandparents lived. Like, you know, I think even like my sister's era, when they were little kids in school, you know, it was the Cold War and all that, and they had to do drills. They had to do drills like what is it? You know, you got to get up under the desk in case there's a nuke.
Yeah.
Or something. Now we done came full circle. Now it's information war. It might get kinetic. It's economic war. You know, these motherfuckers manipulating the weather. I don't know what's going on, but it's almost like we have to now get familiar with, okay, do you have a generator? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you gonna do? What's your bug out bag? You got a tourniquet? You ain't got no tourniquet in your bug out bag? I ain't got no tourniquet right now in my bug out bag, but like, we're having to play catch up. You know, you're right, bro. They've made us soft and spoiled. Everything's been handed to us and delivered in a nice processed package, and we've been disconnected from the realities.
Yeah, I think we have to course correct. And we've talked about this in the past too, and I told Sol yesterday, I was like, I think, or we were talking about missions. So what do you feel like, this is a broad question, and we don't have a ton of time on the public episode, so join the Patreon or Rockfin if you want to catch the next couple of episodes. What's your mission in life at 42?
Yeah, that's a hard-ass question, man. Honestly, bro, it's just be the best dad and husband I could be.
I basically almost said the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's really it, because, you know, I'm not finna run for president.
Right.
I'm not finna run for
No, way
office.
too many skeletons.
Yeah, I'm not finna run. Nah,
if they know what Theo Hoover did, come on.
It ain't even that, really. It's just like, for one, I have no desire, right? But even like city council, any of this stuff, I don't.
You have more power right now as a public figure with a platform than most politicians or, you know, city members or whatever council members have.
Are you saying I'm the kingmaker?
100%.
Yeah, right. We can't even get a sponsor. Hit us up. Here's what's gonna have to happen. Today is the day we record. I'm gonna have to set aside a whole other day to be salesman. I'm gonna have to just pick up the phone, like all the nice people that send us coffee or CBD, and you know, nice people that I meet after the shows. Like, hey man, I work for this company, or hey, I'm in charge of this, or whoop-de-woo. Like, I'm gonna have to like cold call Suavecito Pomade and be like, hey man, y'all got beard oil? My boy Rob got a beard. Shit, what's up? That's neither here nor there. I'm gonna have to play salesman. I'm gonna have to like carve out a day. That means that day I may not make it to jiu-jitsu. You probably won't see me in the studio. I probably won't go live, and I probably won't podcast because I'm trying to keep the show running. So what was the question? My mission?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd have to be just that. Make sure that you're making time to drag your kids to church, because I didn't have that. You know what I mean? We went to Catholic mass a few times. I mean, I
barely remember that.
Maybe 20 times. I don't even know. And then they drug me to that CCD class, and you know what I mean? You got to learn a couple prayers and the sacraments and this and that. But like Catholic church was not my cup of tea at all. The sermon wasn't crunk. The music wasn't crunk. You know what I mean? It didn't connect. It wasn't a good sales pitch for me. No offense to all the good devout Catholics out there. So yeah, my mission is like, is make sure your kids, because I got the 1-year-old, the 4-year-old, the 14-year-old, and they're gonna grow up different. They're gonna be like, yeah, oh yeah, what do you mean? Like as far back as I could remember, from the time I was born, we were going and getting that word of God, getting that positive influence to offset the ideology and the culture and the fucking cartoons kissing. You know what I'm saying? For when dad isn't around and you happen to be watching Jurassic Park on Netflix, the world is attacking.
Yeah.
They trying to influence your kids. Your kids are impressionable. You can't supervise your kids 100% of the time when you send them off to public school.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You can't be daddy watchdog all the time. You can't be up there with the baby Glock all the time.
I had also said in that same, to piggyback off of that with Sol and I yesterday, was that on top of being the best husband and dad that you can, it's like, my kids will be 8 next month. I have 10 years to make sure that they can combat whatever's thrown at them throughout the next couple of years, formidable years, teenage years, and then as they start going out and doing real things.
10 years goes by like this.
Oh, I'm already there. I'm at Brooklyn and Weston's graduation right now. Like, it's gonna be that fast.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to do in the middle of that, in between that. And so, what a lot of people who are listening now don't have the opportunity to do is get this message out to a shit ton of people, right? So as we do that, and as we notice that we're doing that, and appreciate that we can do that, it's with support of the listeners that we can do that on their behalf even greater. We can entertain, we can share information, we can bring new things to the forefront that you just didn't know was a thing. It's a power of the podcast, right? So that was also like the second thing, is like be a good husband and dad, and then also make sure that I'm doing what I can to make sure that the generation that comes up, that's like little babies and kids right now, isn't swimming in wokeness. It'll be around. People will always want to find a utopia. It's just not a thing. Sorry, it's not real. That'll never happen.
So you're saying wokeness comes from a desire of a utopia?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Every time you want this, diversity and inclusion, and everybody's equal and everybody's this, it's on the path to utopia.
Well, I know that Karl Marx was trying to sell people this socialist utopia.
Yeah.
Where like,
every communist and socialist kind of, that, especially here in America, that it says that that's the direction we should go in, is in search of a utopia where everything's perfect for everybody and it's all equal.
Yeah, but really what it ends up being is you're eating cricket paste and you're sleeping in a pod.
Yeah, and millions die.
And exactly. That's the thing, bro. Like, they never, ever talk about the hundreds of millions of people who died. I'm reading a book right now called The Red Famine, which is about how Ukraine, there was a word, it was like a different type of Holocaust, a different type of genocide that was done through starvation, through these communal farms where it's like, you're going to help create the grain, you're the breadbasket, you're going to make all the wheat, and then we might chunk you a little ounce of grain for your family. So now you having to steal a little bit of pound of grain so y'all can live, because you've been in the fields all day in the communal farm, sending it back to Moscow or whatever, where these the minister of agriculture gets to divvy it up, and then there is no free market. I think the word is Holodor, if I'm not mistaken. Holodor, it's like HOLODOR, I believe, which is basically the famine. It was like a weaponized starvation. But anyway, I bring that up because you made an excellent point. People like to give a soft take on communism, like especially these college kids that don't have a trade. They don't understand paying taxes. They don't understand basic economics. Like, they don't live in the real world. All they know is what their woke professors, because that's the only job they were able to get, that or a social worker. Their woke professors we're giving them this soft take on Karl Marx. And they're just like, well, you know, it's just never been done properly. It's like, bitch, tell them how many people starved to death. But anyway, we're going to keep the podcast going at least till the end of the tour. At least to the end of the tour. I got to hang in there. Our last date is in November, Addison Improv. After that, you have midterms. After that, y'all might be on y'all's own, and this, maybe we keep it as a flagship, but we really do need to carve out other shows about other things. You know, especially when like you just see all this fuck shit going on, where it's like, I can't wait to hear like Rogan's take on this. I can't wait to see all the brave souls tweet about it and get their names added to the list.
Was that picture of the note that supposedly was torn up and put in the toilet real? Do you know that? That was a photo that said, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I saw Myra Flores tweeted it.
Yeah.
She basically said, this is what CNN thinks is news, like torn up handwritten messages. Because see, look, Trump is a gangster. He knew, he was like Jay Prince. He pointed at the goddamn
5D chest
camera lens. You know what I'm saying? I see you watching.
Stop looking at the monitor. Look at the camera.
I see you watching me. Sorry, bro. It's right there.
I know.
Maybe just turn it towards you. I will. Anyway, Trump was a gangster. Like he knew he never had. He don't even use email. I heard he don't like to text. Like ain't nothing recorded digitally like that. It's like that scene in Casino where they got to meet in the desert and they talking out there while they smoking, but they covering their mouth.
I never saw it.
You missing out, bro. Joe Pesci. What's that? I think Michelle Pfeiffer was in it, I believe. Okay. Yeah, it's one of them. Okay, how about this? You got to at least watch the Nas video where the director Hype Williams, where it was like it's like they remade Casino.
Okay, in the music video?
Nas in it. Obviously, we can't play it on here because
strike.
Because Google, Google don't like when you do shit like that on YouTube. Rockfin might allow it, which I'm trying to go live on Rockfin, but I'm having an issue with
Let's set that up today before
we'll give it a
head
shot.
out.
We'll give it a shot.
All right, man. State of the Union. What do we call it? What do you call it? It was an emergency broadcast. Is that what you said? That might have been the title.
I said that, but you're good at picking the titles, man. Okay. I don't know what you're gonna name it. But yeah, man. When I saw that breaking news, and like I said, I don't want people to misinterpret it as like, wow, Chingo just loves Donald Trump so much that he's sitting there so upset. And it's like, I love America. I love freedom. You know what I mean? I love my fellow citizens. I love the idea of America. I love the Constitution. You know what I mean? We the people. And it has to be upsetting, to say the least, that this is what we're doing, bro. Like, this is what our government is doing. They got Merrick Garland and the DOJ approved this. These are the same people that were like, they received a note from the teachers union saying, hey man, they're raising hell about CRT, which I think his son-in-law was in charge of putting CRT in the schools. And they're like, all right, bet, check this out. All these parents are domestic terrorists. And then like months later, you see this document leak. I think it was Project Veritas or somebody about the new guidelines for what a domestic terrorist is, and it's the Betsy Ross flag and the come and take it flag and the Punisher sticker and all these basic ass flags. You know what I mean? It's like, so why is the Antifa flag not on there? You know what I'm saying? Why is some of these other things not on there?
Before we headed out, I was gonna play a video. I thought it was Larry Elder because you brought him up earlier, but it's not on his Instagram anymore. It was basically an anti-communist cartoon from like the 1950s. I'll try to find it and play it on the next episode. It was really interesting because you couldn't, for whatever reason, make that today and put it on whatever, right? ABC, NBC, even fucking PBS.
The communists run Hollywood.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. People hate to hear it, but I mean, it sounds like an exaggeration if you've been living under a rock.
But it's documented. It's very documented. Communists have been in Hollywood since I think the 40s and the 50s.
Yeah. No, but it was like a 1.5-minute video, and it was funny. I'll try to play it. I'm not going to try to describe it, but anyway. All right, man. Great episode. I think it needed to be heard and said that it's not about Trump. It's way bigger than that.
Yeah, it's not about Trump.
And you did a good job explaining it.
And warrior mindset, and I am the militia.
That's the title. Warrior mindset.
And we the people.
And Alpha AF.
And
go to church.
My model team. All right, y'all. Hey, It was a heavy one. But hey, on the next episode, we got to make sure we talk about John Leguizamo being a woke Marxist. He done played everything from a transsexual to an Italian to somebody from the Shakespeare era. This man done played every role. He's had a successful career, and he's always the victim that can't break the glass ceiling and racism. I swear to God, I love Leguizamo's acting skills, but get off the boo-boo. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. Head on a swivel and protect America. Good night.